This video we will discuss about the connections part of the agent force. How do we connect the agent force, and how would we configure that when end user requests for escalating to a human agent, how do we redirect the conversation from agent force to human agent? Additionally, we'll set up the languages part. How do we make the agent force multilingual? Correct. So if you see over the connections part, you'll see there are two sections. One is the inbound omnichannel flow, second one is the outbound one. So what is the use case of the inbound one? If you want to route a conversation to the agent force, the inbound omnichannel flow will be used. And if you want to leave the conversation from agent force to any other use case, majorly it is to a human agent. Since the human agent is part of queue, will redirect it to the queue, right? So anyone who is part of the queue and is on online status, they'll get the chat, correct? So that's how the connections work. I'll show you the connections part, how do we create the omnichannel flows and all, but this is the page where you'll align it to the use case, or how do we set it up, correct? So in the flow part, if you see, this is the page, right? For the time frame, I'll just reload it. So once you try to create a new flow, you'll opt for omni-channel flow. You'll navigate over here, you'll see an action named as route work. So route to human. Okay, for the first time I'll route it to agent first, right? So I'll name it route to agent. There should be a record. So let's create a record ID, and the variable should be text type. It will be for input, so I'll opt for the input. And here in our org, the missing channel is live message. See, because we are using missing sessions, right? So there will be a specific object that is missing session, which for which a missing channel is created, and the name of the missing channel is live message in my org. And I want to route it to the agent force. I'll opt over here. I'll opt for the chocolate agent, but the thing is it's not visible. It is surely because it is not active. So I'll just opt for the agent for the time frames, and I'll have to like refresh it. So I'll opt for any other agent. He'll align to a messaging fallback queue. I have a Mio named one. Then I'll just save this up. I'll align it, right? I'm not saving it up because it already exists in my org. I'll just show it to you, right? So flow. So this is route to human, right? The one which will redirect to the queue. And if I want to see the agent force one, I'll also show that as well, right? So this is the agent force one, and it will be in active status, correct? It is taking quite longer simultaneously with the human one. So the difference will be, see, this is the agent force one, right? So it will be routing to agent force agent, right? If I want to route it to queue, I'll just opt for queue and the queue that I want to redirect. So that will be the use case in the second one, right? Queue and then the queue. So once you configure it out over here, you align the flows, it should completely work. Second part, we'll just test it out in later point of view. I'll just show you before we end the meeting or the session. Before, I'll just help you with the language part. So since the agent force should be multilingual, right? We do have provided the functionality, or the agent force does have the functionality to handle different languages, right? If you see over here, I'll just deactivate. You have the default language, correct? Other than that, if you want to opt for any languages specifically, you don't want every languages to be supported, right? You can opt for the one that you want to handle, or if you want every other languages, then you just click on this one and it should work, right? I'll just active this one up. So once you have this, before that you should configure the translation as well. Where's the translation? So you'll have the languages in active state, and you'll assign the translator as well. And once you have it active, you'll be able to see it in the languages section once you disable this checkbox, right? And automatically, if you click this one, it will support every other languages which are in active state, correct? So whenever end user will be reaching out to us in the pre-chat, for the time frame, if you see over here, I haven't created any pre-chat though, but if you want, you can give a pre-chat information which language you want to associate with or interact with, and with that you start the conversation. Now when we click on the start conversation, it will trigger the inbound only flow, which will trigger to the agent force, right? Now if I want to escalate to human agent, right, it will call the outbound only flow, and this bot or the agent force will leave. See, it is showing transferring, right? If I go online, I'll see that a work item got routed or the session got routed. If I accept, I'll be able to see it. So here's the missing session record. Now I can connect with the user, correct? So that's how it looks like. This is the agent part, the flow, right? If I want to test a message, for example, I'll end the chat. Let's test out in the preview part. So I haven't added any functionality though. If you want, for example, you want to give that, okay, if an end user reverts back into this message, like whenever they're reaching out, the language type is so there is a missing end user record, right, which will have the field as language. If that value is populated as per the customer's use case, it will revert back in that specific language. So I can preview it, right? Over here I opt for the language is French, correct? So I'll send a message. The message is, can you help me with the order details? And I send a message. It will revert back in French. See, so that's how the languages work. You'll have to configure onto that part. How do we take the languages and update it in the messaging and user record and accordingly revert back? So that should be the part here. Because I'm testing in the preview part, you can opt for the languages that you want to associate, and it will give the revert in that specific language. Also we tested over here, right? So inbound and outbound OmniFlow, both you are able to see how it works in every other use case. So yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to post a comment over the comment section and we'll be happy to help. Thank you so much.